Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss on content-based image retrieval approach using deep learning. In a world that seeks perfect results of any search query, an information retrieval system that produces an accurate and relevant output is desired. However, because of the famous semantic gap problem of image representation, a CBIR system faces some difficulties since it highly depends on the extracted image features as basis for a similarity check between the query image and database images. This proposed approach overcomes these difficulties with the aid of the most fast-growing technology called deep learning. In addition, it explores the effects of merging the features extracted from the later layers of the deep network to achieve better retrieval results. The experimental results demonstrate the effectiveness of the proposed scheme in terms of the number of relevant retrieved images of the query results and the mean average precision while keeping low computational complexity since it uses an already trained deep convolutional model called LXNet. Thus, in return, a reduction in the complexity that combines training a deep model from the scratch has been achieved. In the fast growing and technology accelerated era, the distribution and storage of the digital images become easy and available widely. Therefore, a huge amount of digital images are stored and uploaded online in huge databases such as World Wide Web or in the medical images databases for example. Consequently, a search query based on images become of a great essential. Since these databases differ from the traditional databases by the type of the unstructured data stored in them, new information retrieval methods are used. The following paper has been reviewed in this regard. There are two main approaches for image retrieval: text or concept based approach and the content based approach. Let's see the text or concept based approach first. It depends on the manual indexing and the quality of tagged keywords and annotations that best describe the image for the retrieval purposes. However, the annotations based method can be considered as infeasible retrieval method due to many reasons, such as the manual annotation process is time consuming, subjective, and incomplete. Moreover, their assigned keyword may not describe the image properly. For example, a single keyword can have multiple semantic meaning. That means different keywords can describe a certain image and in the same time a single keyword can describe multiple images. All these factors indicate that the fixed keyword and feature engineering is not a suitable image retrieval, especially for large-scale image databases. On the other hand, the second approach, which is the CBIR, overcome these limitations and slightly improve the retrieval performance through searching the image based on their visual contents represented by its low and middle level features such as color, texture, and shape. Then comparing the similarities in some of these features between the images in the database and the query image. Determining the similarities and the proper features that best describe the image is often relative. Therefore, this raises the famous semantic gap problem that are found by a low level visual features of the images represented normally by their intensity or pixel values and the high level of human perception. With the advances in machine learning methods, a retrieval method based on them succeed in outperforming the traditional retrieval method that are only based on image indexing and keyword tagging, especially if we search for an image in a large database for a match of the requested image query. However, the machine learning approaches has some limited performance because in order to be successful, they must combine with supervised learning that required a labeled dataset for the training process. And these labeled data indicates that pair of inputs and label and identify the correct output specified with the input must be manually extracted by a domain human expert. For a large database containing millions of images, doing a fixed feature engineering become infeasible, and consequently, the same limitation of the text-based approaches reappeared. The recent revolutions in computer vision and image recognition make the deep learning seems a potential bridge to this gap for retrieving images because it has the ability to process raw data and build the internal feature representation of it through its multiple non-linear layers of abstraction to provide eventually a high conceptual representation of the image. Therefore, a deep learning based model for CBIR is proposed in this study. Any CBIR system concerned with achieving two goals. First, to be able to recognize the existence or not of the query image in the image database, and to retrieve the most similar image to it through the multidimensional extracted feature vector. This feature vector is extracted from each image in the database and considered a substitute of the images when a search query is conducted. This study proposes a design for an image retrieval framework that combines a fusion of different high-level feature representation of the image that are obtained from exploring the feature extracted from different layers of a deep neural model and combine them into a single feature vector in order to achieve higher retrieval efficiency and to increase the degree of similarity in the retrieved images as a response to some query image. This system does not rely on any human crafted features. Instead, it learns the feature directly from the convolutional neural network or CNN called AlexNet Deep Model. Deep learning is a branch of artificial intelligence that is inspired by the way that human brain works. That is, it tries to simulate the human brain's ways in reasoning, prediction, and flexible thinking when learning a thing for the first time. Humans tend to organize their ideas and concepts hierarchy. They begin by learning simple concepts first and then combine a bunch of these simple concepts to form a complex one. Similarly, the deep learning network is fed by examples through the training data. Initially, the network doesn't do so well, and then it adjusts and fine-tunes its parameters through its hierarchy structure until it reaches the required state of proficient. Deep learning processes the data through multiple nonlinear structures that begin by modeling simple patterns in the image, such as edges, then become gradually as moving through the layers until finally a higher conceptual representation of the data is achieved by exploring its underlying structure without human involvement. Convolutional neural network is the most popular and widely used deep network, especially in the computer vision field, since it has a large learning capabilities due to the stacked layer structure. It succeeded in achieving tasks that were beyond the reach, such as image classification, video classification, object recognition, and image captioning. The CNN network has a hierarchical structure of feature maps. It consists of three layers: convolutional layer, pooling or subsampling layer, and fully connected layer. The convolutional layer is the core and the most important layer of CNN. The convolutional term refers to the process of filtering through the image for a specific pattern. It accepts the data from the input layer, then puts this data, which is mainly an image, into a set of convolutional filters. Each sweep over a certain slice of the image. Each set of filters activates certain features from the image, that is, search for a specific pattern in the entire image. When a match is found, it is mapped into a feature space identical to that particular feature that is searched by the filter, creating a feature map for each pattern searched. Thus, the number of the required visual elements that must be found in the image will determine the number of feature maps that will be organized in a hierarchical structure. After the convolutional layer, the input is passed through a nonlinear transformation in the pooling layer to reduce the dimensionality of the feature maps and to shrink the number of parameters the network needs to learn. Consequently, reduce the required storage and processing resources. The pooling layer focuses on detecting the most relevant pattern discovered by the convolutional layer by applying either the maximum or the average subsampling operation on each of the regions of the feature map one at a time as done in the convolutional layer. As a result, the local features are aggregated to identify more complex features and the location of the strongest correlation of each feature are preserved. This can induce a certain amount of translation invariance of the feature. The final layer is the fully connected layers, which are regular neural networks that are added as a final stage after the alternating structure that consists of the convolutional layer and the pooling layer. They aim for classifying the discovered complex pattern by matching them against labels to define one correct label for this pattern in order to give them more understanding. In the deep model of CNN, the alternating of the two convolutional and pooling layers are repeated many times depending on the image size and pattern complexity. Now let's move to the methodology proposed in this study. CBIR requires extraction of features from images, comparing and ranking based on similarity between image features. Enhancing the effective feature representation learning and improving the similarity measure are crucial requirements for a good content-based image retrieval system. The image retrieval using only single feature may be inefficient. It may either retrieve images not similar to the query image or fail to retrieve similar images. Therefore, the proposed approach combines features to achieve higher retrieval efficiency. AlexNet is a large deep convolutional neural network that is used to classify 1.2 million high-resolution images in the LSVRC 2010 ImageNet contest into the 1000 different classes. It consists of 60 million parameters and 6,50,000 neurons, consists of 5 convolutional layers followed by max pooling layers and 3 globally connected layers. The fully connected layers can be considered as the characteristic representation of the image for the CBIR task. In this figure, FC6 is the first fully connected layer of AlexNet, the first one that follow the alternating of the convolutional and pooling layers. The dimension of the feature vector extracted from this layer is 4096. FC7 is the second fully connected layer with a feature vector of size 4096. And FC8 is the last fully connected layer, the one that are directly before the output layer, and the feature vector size is 1000. Query image is the image to be searched in the image database. Whether the same image is present or not, or how many similar images exist in the database or not. A search for the best layers to combine and the best weight factors to maximize the efficiency for the CBIR task are made in this study. And after some trial and error, it has been found that the two fully connected layers of the AlexNet model named FC6 and FC8 are the best pair, and the final combined feature vector of these two layers feature are computed using the equation which is shown here. This is the design step for the proposed CBIR system. First is the preparing phase. The database of the images undergoes the first phase of preparing and collecting the features. This is done for each image in this database. The database images must be pre-processed in order to suit the network model input, either cropping the image to the correct size or resizing it. The images then are fed to the deep model. Then a new two feature for each image are extracted from the FC6 and FC8 layers of the deep model. A weighted combination of the two vectors is done in which only part of the higher dimensional layer, that is FC6, is taken and combined with the FC8 feature vector according to the equation which we see in the previous slide. This is done to increase the efficiency of the features extracted from the last fully connected layers in retrieving the relevant images by introducing partial support of the FC6 layer. Next is searching phase. The second phase is the search for identical or similar images to the query image. The main task of the CBIR system is to find and exact matches or similar images to that query. The query image undergoes the same feature extraction procedure as in phase 1. Last is similarity and ranking phase. The similarity measurement step captures the semantic similarity between the features extracted from the combined feature vector obtained from the images in the database and between the combined feature vectors obtained from the query image. Then, all the images in the database are ranked and the top n images are retrieved. Now let's discuss the experimental results. The performance is judged by the quality of the retrieval images, that is, their counts and how relevant they are to the query image. This is measured using the precision and recall metrics. The image dataset consists of the collection of 600 images with 20 different categories. Each of these categories contains 30 images taken from the ImageNet 2012 dataset. A set of 2 image query has been applied as shown to test the efficiency of the system. The top 30 images are retrieved for each query image. The AlexNet network is not trained on these dataset before. The retrieval performance of a CBIR system depends mainly on the feature representations and similarity measurements. The main aim is to design an image retrieval system that is efficient and effective through fulfilling two requirements: speed and precision. The quality of retrieval and how relevant it is to the query image is measured through their precision and recall values. A higher value on precision and recall indicates a better result on image retrieval, meaning the set of returned images are more preferable to user. Now precision is a term used to measure how accurate is your prediction and is calculated as a ratio of relevant images retrieved by total images retrieved. Whereas recall is the term used to measure how good you find all the positives. Basically, it is the ratio of relevant images retrieved by total relevant images. Both precision and recall have values between 0 and 1. The average precision averages the precision values of the rank positions where a relevant image is retrieved. The mean average precision is measured by computing the mean of the average precision of each query image. For performance evaluation, 5 metrics have been used. The results of these metrics for each of the query image is presented in both the tables, in which the precision and recall values at ranks 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 and 30 are listed. In addition to the number of the retrieved images that are similar to the query image and the average precision for each query image. In addition, the results of the proposed approach is compared with the results obtained from image retrieval based on the features extracted from layers FC6 and FC8 that are used to construct the combined vector. These features shows the mean average precision values of the system when the features are extracted from different layers such as FC6, FC8 and from the combined vector used in the proposed approach. As can be noted, the proposed scheme enhances the results compared with the single feature based system, which proves the effectiveness of this approach. Here is the conclusion. In this study, a direct approach was used for extracting the image features by using a combination of the features extracted from the fully connected layers in a pre-trained AlexNet model. For high accuracy retrieval, the feature vectors extracted from two fully connected layers has been combined into a single one. The experimental results demonstrated the effectiveness of the proposed approach by either increasing the number of relevant retrieved images or increasing the mean average precision. A further enhancement can be done to improve the results by fine-tuning the network by modifying the last layer and train the model again using a new dataset that will be the image database used for retrieving the relevant images. An extra technique for dimensionality reduction can be deployed in the proposed framework to reduce the size of the extracted feature vector. Thank you.